I really don't know any other way to introduce a mine outside of, again, using the aquatic mine reference. I guess I just don't know how to talk about mines if they weren't once coal pits that are now water rides that just make you want to sit back and enjoy the ride. Anyway, yes, Golem Mine. We get an introduction to those fake rock enemies, which aren't really a huge deal in this dungeon, but I do like how they're kind of introduced with those beams of light. That isn't always an indication that those rocks are enemies. Like right here. This one wasn't shrouded in light. But, you know, I do like how they kind of use a background to sort of get your attention initially, before just having the enemy be more common. So, we can't go this way because there's a stalagmite and 2 stalactites. So, I guess we'll go this way. I'm gonna kill this guy just in case. These guys are so slow that it's not like I couldn't make it to the door, but, you know, might as well try. So here we are in what is basically the main hub of this dungeon. I wouldn't say this is my favorite labyrinth in the game. Definitely not my least favorite, but yeah. Most of the puzzles here are just, like, they're offshoots of this main room, so we do want to start at the bottom. If you're playing this on your own, you're probably just going to start exploring right off the bat, and you'll find that your options are limited. However, you'll also find little whatever these can be described as that change Shantae's color. So, the gimmick of this dungeon is magnets. These guys right here are annoying. Not in this instance, that one's fine. However, if we try to get close to one of the blue guys, they try to leave. Because, of course, opposites attract, and, like, pushes, like, away? I don't know, that one doesn't have that catchy a phrase, does it? So in this room we have this little red whatever it is, and now that we have this, we will notice a difference in the enemies that we killed, but for the time being, we already killed them. Of course, I also took the safe way to do so. I didn't really experiment with them here, but we'll see what they do. Anyway, once you're the opposite color of the weird box enemy things, we can kill it to get a key. So, moving on, we can't escape this little area without turning blue, so it's a bit unfortunate, especially because if I remember correctly, we're already to an annoying part of the dungeon. Yep, indeed. So, when you are the same color as these guys, when you're beneath them, they will electrocute you. It's the worst, and I hate it, and you can't go back to that room without turning blue, but there is a trick, so that's not too bad. So there are 2 ways to deal with those things without tanking, which is what I decided to do because I'm lazy. You can either leave, get a Vanishing Cream, and come back, which is explicitly what I chose not to do. But yeah, the Vanishing Cream should just let you pass through their shots. They are otherwise undodgeable, which is bad, but your other option is to just find a different color, change them a jig, and then go back to the room that's giving you trouble. But you know what? I can take it, so I will. This room also introduces platforms that extend or retract depending on what color you are, so if something bars your way, try to find a way to change your color and then go back. Speaking of which, there's a hidden passage here, but we still need to change color. And we also don't want to touch that one right there. And I decided not to break these immediately because we want to get rid of this guy first. There'll be time to break open vases later. I guess you could call this a puzzle, but it's really not a huge thing. Honestly, like, the biggest issue is pretty much just, hey, you gotta figure out that there's a hidden passage, because otherwise, you're not gonna be the right color for this. Now, if I remember the next room correctly, there's a way around that? Oh wait, no, because there's the locked door right here, so yeah. You have to figure out that there's a hidden passage, even though there's hardly any indication. I like this dungeon less now that I'm thinking about it. But we do find the Guardian Genie fairly early on in here, which means new dance, new form. So this next form is one of the only ones that's not really a mobility option, and as such it's probably my least favorite. But we get the elephant form. So when I say not really mobility option, I mean the elephant is slow and heavy, so good for breaking stuff, not as much so for, well, getting around. You can kinda go quickly with it, but there is one problem, which I'll explain in a second. So, the elephant starts with an attack, which is a dash. Be wary about that because there is a delay with a dash. Once you get to the end of it, you can see that Shantae starts to slow down, so if you don't play carefully, you can end up getting hit if you charge and something is still alive and decides to go for you. When you're at the end of the dash, you can't really start up a new dash immediately, nor can you really turn around, so yeah, that's definitely been a problem for me before. Anyway, I turned blue because, well, I just wanted to do that to get out of here easily, because those doors, of course, will be in your way if you're the monkey, if you're red. There is a secret passage there, but it's not going to help you before. There's no secret passage previously. I guess you just have to be blue for the entire thing. Thankfully, speaking of secret passages, there's one right here, which is good, because I hate this room. It's honestly bad. It is impossible not to get hit unless you have an item or you go out of your way to find another point in the dungeon in which you change color, which, considering I like to be efficient in these dungeons, is not really the option I wanted to take, and yeah, right there I just wanted to show that you can't jump through the ceiling. There's the secret passage is one way. It's bad. That's pretty much it. It's just bad. I don't like it. Like I said, I started this dungeon saying, oh, it's okay, but honestly, looking at it mechanically, it's not great. I do think it's pretty, though. Like, it's a cave dungeon, sure, but for a mine, it is actually kind of pretty. I like the crystals scattered about. I do like the sort of... what's going on in the background there? Not the bricks, that's clearly a mine shaft, but like, a little crystalline background thing? Oh, we've got a mini-boss. Let's kill this guy real quick to get the key. Now, the mini-boss isn't a threat. He's got one attack and it doesn't hurt you, but it could be a problem if you don't break open the box first because he changes you to whatever color he is. So since he was red, he changed Shantae red, which I believe is actually an advantage at this point. Thank you. Obviously, if he does that and you haven't broken open the box, well, it's gonna run away from you, so... It's easy enough to just open the box immediately, so the mini-boss is kind of a non-issue. Oh well. It's an interesting idea for a gimmick, but again, it's so easy to bypass it by just doing the thing early. Fight the box first, not the mini-boss. Okay, so over here, I do not remember which room this is. Alright, well, it's a mini... Oh, hey, here's another rock guy. These guys are annoying because they can stand on spikes and shoot rocks at you, but the elephant doesn't care. The elephant can just smash them to pieces in a single hit. I believe one of the NPCs actually talks about that. I don't remember if we actually talked to him, but I know I've seen it before. Some guy will mention how it's easy to smash rocks or something like that. Oh yeah, and this move is even less worthwhile for the mini-boss when you're already the same color as it. Also, the animation's pretty great. It just looks so goofy. Anyway, though, yeah, still gotta be red, and it's really not a big deal. Again, the previous mini-boss really helped, saved time. Second one wasn't as good, because that was just redundant, and so, therefore the speedrun is ruined. I know, I was doing such a good job speedrunning this game before, but he completely ruined the run, and oh, hey look, another one of these rooms. Another one of my favorite rooms in the game, oh boy. Well, let's just remove these guys immediately. we're gonna be back through here a little bit. Obviously we want to go down the mine shaft, but first let's grab this guy and also make sure that nobody else will attack us, because they will when we come back, and it'll be annoying because those enemies are bad. Probably the worst enemies in the game, because they're impossible to dodge unless you have Vanish Cream. Or, again, unless you go out of your way, though. Was there a red thing in front of the, this room? I forget. I haven't been paying exact attention to where all the, magnet majigs are. Oh, and of course, should go without saying, but if you're the opposite color of one of those enemies, then you're fine, they won't shoot you. Which I guess is what that first room was trying to teach to the player, but I kinda just bypassed that completely, and oh, you saw right there, the elephant slowed down. Yeah, the end of the dash is really slow. The dash would actually be like a good dodge option otherwise, but if you fight an enemy that, like, attacks rapidly, then you're putting yourself at risk if you try to dodge with that dash. In fact, I believe I tried to do that with the boss of the dungeon, and it didn't really work. Alright, what do we have next? Bottom left room? Because I remember what this is. Yep, okay, so, this is one of the more obvious puzzles. In that, over there we've got a rock that's designed like an elephant. Gee, I wonder what we have to do there. Yep, there we go, that's the puzzle. I guess to be fair though, like, if you see that first before you get the transformation, that is a very distinct landmark, and considering the elephant's ability is fairly obvious in that it dashes, that's a good introduction to, showing the player how to, well, or that they can ram stuff rather, because that's the elephant's most important job, uncovering passages and whatever else he might have to do with something as heavy as an elephant. Alright, so we've got a long passage of spiky things. Whole lot of stalagmites and stalactites. There's really no way to shorten those two words as far as I know. I tried to think of one and it just didn't work. Oh hey, Risky. The Golem Stone can't hear you, it's a rock. Yeah, take that, I know what your plan is. What are you gonna do about that? Continue your plan? Oh, that's not good. Alright, well, it's good that she explained that one, because I honestly could not figure out what the Golem Stone was for. But that does actually make sense. It's just really strong metal. Water's kinda self-explanatory in a steam engine, though. Well, Risky's got some bad luck with the bosses being summoned, doesn't she? Alright, time for another easy boss that I could have one-cycled but didn't, and it actually made the boss harder, unlike the first boss, which is still easy even if you let him attack. So, yeah, I didn't transform into an elephant immediately. Obviously his weakness is the gem in his head. Actually, I just realized that that elephant stone is there. I don't know what that does. The guy didn't mention it, and I never tried it, because there really isn't any reason to. Anyway, like I said, I decided to not quite one cycle since I attacked him at the start, but I decided not to transform into an elephant immediately because those fireballs are hard to dodge because of how much lag there is on Elephant Shantae's ram attack. But yeah, he's got a fairly obvious cycle. He just switches back and forth between whatever he does with his hands and his fireball attacks. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, you can one-cycle him easily enough. I could have killed him before he'd actually moved on to his fireballs, but where'd be the fun in that? Hey Wrench, how's it going? I did a good job, huh? That's a weird screen name. Oh, figures. Okay, well, it seems like somebody can help us, but they are a zombie. Can we get any other replies? I mean, I guess it's either this or wait for Bolo, so quite frankly, I'd much prefer to talk to the zombie. Well, we will do that next time. For the time being, there's a save point over here. Gotta jump some cactuses to get to it, though, or cacti, rather. So, that was the Golem Mines. Next time on Shantae, I guess we're tracking down some zombies. That sounds like a good idea, right? It doesn't sound like a good idea, does it?